Welcome back to another satisfactory video. Today going over space elevator parts for phase 2 and 3. These parts being the smart plating, versatile framework and the automated wiring. And we are going to make 10 per minute of each of these parts. Now this is the factory that I have designed and let's go over the inputs first. So in order to run this factory, you are going to need 540 iron ore per minute and this is the location where I have built the whole thing. Now for the iron, I'm using Mark II miners which have been overclocked to 150% on 3 nodes of normal iron and this will give us 180 iron per minute on 3 lines. Now these 3 lines are going on 3 different levels and yeah, for the next input we are going to need 54 limestone which also can be found here very nearby and this will make 18 concrete per minute. Also, there's copper 240 per minute and coal which is once again 180 per minute and it goes on a long highway all across the shore and then finally into a factory. So let's start with the build. First we take 180 iron and we smelt it into 6 of the smelters. That will give us 180 iron ingots, so that's load balance completely. And same goes on the second level. So that's 360 iron ingots per minute which we can then combine and send it into a manifold line of constructors. So here the two lines are combining and finally we can send them into these constructors that we have here. And there are 3 sets in total. The first set will produce iron plates. So this one will need 157.5 iron ingots per minute in order to produce 105 plates. Now 4 of these are running on full speed and the last 2 will produce 12.5 per minute. So this will give us a total of 105 iron plates being produced per minute and all of the outputs will then be combined into this merger and will be sent further to make the reinforced iron plates. For the next set of constructors, we are producing screws. Now we are producing screws in 2 sets. The first set here will produce 210 screws per minute and I'm using the cast screw alternate recipe. And these 210 will be combined with the iron plates. And as for the other part, we are producing 250 screws. So that's 5 constructors running at full capacity. And yeah, these will be used to make rotors. So first let's take a look at the reinforced iron plate. 105 of the iron plates along with 210 screws in a 1:2 ratio will give us the assembler. In the assembler, it will give us the reinforced iron plate. Now we are producing in total 17.5 reinforced iron plate. Out of this, there is a combination. You can combine 5 and 5 to give 10 and finally 5 and 2.5 in order to give 7.5 reinforced iron plate per minute. So this will be used for 2 different inputs. And as for the 250 screws that we were producing, we will combine it with iron rods. Now the iron rods are being produced at 80 per minute. And out of these 80 per minutes, we are separating them into a line of 30 and 50. So the 50 line will be used to make rotors and 30 will then go further in order to make modular frame. So yeah, that's 50 iron rod combined with 250 screws in order to give us 10 rotors per minute. So now what we can do is that we can take the 10 rotors that we are producing and combine it with the 10 reinforced iron plates. And these in 5 assemblers will give us exactly 10 smart plating per minute. So that will be our first part and this will also help in phase 1. However, I think during phase 1 you are just going to put down one assembler and call it a day. So that's the reinforced iron plates along with rotors combining in 5 assemblers to make 10 smart plating all running at full capacity, and the excess can then be sent into an awesome sink for points as these yield a good amount of points in the early game. Next up, we take the 30 remaining rods out of the 80 that we had, and these are then combined with the reinforced iron plates, 7.5 per minute, in order to give us 5 modular frames per minute. Now these 5 modular frames will then be sent up, which is where we are going on the final 3rd level, where we are going to make some steel parts. So first we take the 180 iron ore, the last line, and combine it into, or basically make it into iron ingots. These iron ingots are then combined with 180 coal in order to give us 270 steel ingots per minute using the solid steel ingot recipe. And for this you are going to need 5 foundries, 4 of them at full capacity and the 5th one running at 50% capacity. Now, out of the 270, 240 will be used to make steel beams at 100% clock speed. So that's 60 steel beams per minute combined into 30 and 30. And these steel beams will be used to make the versatile framework when combined with the modular frame that we were making down there. So that's the second space elevator part. There's the modular frame coming from down there and the steel beams, a total of 60, and giving us 10 versatile framework produced per minute. And we are storing it here, and once again the excess will go in an awesome sink. Finally, we take the concrete. 54 pieces of limestone makes 18 concrete. This combined with 30 steel ingots, and this will give us 30 pieces of steel pipe per minute. This will then be basically divided into two lines where it will be combined with 40 wire to give us 5 stator per minute, so 10 in total. Now, for the wire, we finally come to our last line, which is copper. 240 copper will be smelted in these 8 smelters, and basically these 240 ingots will be load balanced into 16 constructors. All 16 of these constructors will do copper wire at 100% clock speed. Now, this is where we need to do some line balancing. So as we are producing 480 of the wire, we need 80 in order to produce stator, which is where we combine two constructors, and on the third one, we divide it into 3 equal parts. Out of these 3 lines, 2 of them, 10 and 10, will combine. So that gives us 60 plus 20, which is 80. And these 80 copper wires will then combine with the steel pipe, which I showed you before, and this will give us our 10 stators per minute. So that's the stator done. And as we were producing 480, this remains, or basically this leaves us with 400 wire. So these 400 wires will then run into a set of 7 more constructors, and it will be processed into 200 cables. So 6 of them will run at full capacity, and the last one will run at 66.6667%. And this will give us a total of 200 cables, which will then combine with the stators that we are producing. So basically 2.5 stators along with 50 pieces of cable will give us 2.5 automated wiring. So you will need a total of 4 assemblers in order to get 10 automated wiring per minute. And this was the last space elevator part. And finally, we can store it like we are doing with every other part. It's good to have a large storage for this, so you can have these in excess and use them to make any part that you are missing. And yeah, the remaining can just be used in a sink to get a lot of points. So that takes care of the 3 space elevator parts, and with that we can complete the phase 3 of the space elevator. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, you learned something from it, and you found it helpful. If you did, please do smash that like button and also subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out and stay safe, my guys.